Well, I do not want to see this in your compilation of
outtakes.
Here's him scratching his butt. Here's where he fell over. This belly shows.
Is it my fault that you provide so many outtakes?
It's Kelsey at the movies! Yay!
We saw Joker.
I just had one question for you, Rachel. Why so serious?
That wasn't said in this movie. Nope.
That's
That
from
is
the
a
Heath
throwback.
Ledger's performance from 10 years ago. It was a long time ago.
Was it just
40,
10
it was
years?
40 years ago.
Okay.
He did that movie.
All right. So Joker, it's
It's a movie.
DC movie. If you're familiar with Batman, I don't see how you wouldn't at least be familiar with who Batman
Batman's
is.
arch nemesis, and
Joker?
arguably the greatest comic book villain there's ever been created. I would argue.
Is Joker.
Joker.
Or the Joker. So this movie is starring Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker. From the trailers, you can see that it's got a little bit of a different feels. Like, you're definitely not getting the Jack Nicklaus Joker. I guess, did they sell it as an origin
Yeah, so
story?
this movie is being sold as a one-off kind of production. There's not going to be like sequels to this movie. This isn't going to be the Joker that if they make the Batman later on or they make another Justice League or whatever, it's not going to be the same Joker. This is just a standalone movie. They had a good idea
accustomed to that in superhero
and
world.
wanted to make this movie. And yeah, so Rachel, go wait or skip.
I didn't even think about my answer to this yet.
That's why you'll know you'll get the real scoop here. I asked the hard-hitting questions.
I'm going to say go, but like, do we have too many caveats when we do this?
I think
I'm always like, with a caveat. It's a dark movie.
Yeah.
Know that going in a dark, somewhat, I don't want to say, like, it wasn't the most violent movie I've ever seen. I covered my eyes twice, and that was sufficient for like a few seconds each. But yeah, it was a dark movie, but it was really good movie. Yeah. And so you will definitely leave having felt like, so you will have some like thoughts and feelings about this movie.
Yeah.
It's not forgettable.
I'm going to say go as well. I think it's an achingly beautiful film and that they took a comic book character and put something on the big screen that's artful, that's just an amazing origin story for that character. And of that genre, I would argue that it's probably the best that has ever been done for a superhero / villain from a comic book world. I can't think of one off the top of my head. The easiest, lowest hanging fruit would be Batman Begins. I think this movie's better than Batman Begins. And reminds me, this strongly reminded me, this whole thing was like, yeah, the DC comic book universe has the best material, has the best source material. I had forgotten it because of how terribly they've done that. When I'm reminded of Christopher Nolan's Batman trilogy, Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and The Dark Knight Rises, those were amazingly awesome films as well. I would argue the best comic book movies ever, and this one reminded me of those. Spoilers! Why so serious?
Okay.
Okay.
So this is a part of our review where we just talk freely about the movie. I think Joaquin Phoenix did a really good job in taking, again, somebody stepping into the role of the Joker and just doing excellent work. I mean, he's done excellent work in other movies, and this...
he even faked his own death pretty well, I think.
To play this character, I think, requires somebody who can really dive into it and like let go. Yeah. You know?
If the darker parts of yourself scare you and you don't like to think about them, you'd rather like eat a bunch of food or watch some kind of whatever your thing is, whatever. And you haven't really gone into that, this movie might not be for you, because I think it does a really good job of showing realistically a lot of things.
It was very real,
plague a lot of people.
Different than a typical superhero movie.
Both internal concerns like mental illness or situations that affect us as individuals, but also societal issues and kind of the interplay between how those whole things can all kind of mesh together in this weird little thing. I think the storytelling in this movie was excellent, and I just thought the movie was really super great. But if it makes you uncomfortable, you're probably not going to like it.
And so let's talk about like the underlying narrative of the movie and of Gotham City throughout all the movies that I've seen. I didn't read the comic books, but I assume it was source material from the comic books, is that Gotham City is dealing with a very wide disparity between the rich and the poor.
Where does that sound familiar? Oh, well, yeah, it's real life in every town across America.
Right, and so because this movie was very real, you know, there wasn't a superhero running around in a bat suit as real as
Not yet. Wait. Okay.
As real as Christopher Nolan's movies were, it still had that, so it was kind of a separation. This movie, for me, really, like, hit home, where I was like, gosh, this is really real. I can't even, like, I told Kelsey when we were leaving, I feel like I can't leave and be like, man, you know, like, the Joker is such a great villain. I can't say that after watching this movie, because, like, yeah, he is in the comics, but dude, in real life, that's scary.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's not good, and I'm not going to, like, say... So, and that's what I thought, like, in this movie, that it was very real. And I was like, yeah, it's real things that happen. There are people who are angry, who see the other person as other. And whenever you do that, like, it dehumanizes the other side. And then the other side, you know, they see, like, the poor as other, and then dehumanize them. Oh, they're there because they haven't made anything out of their life. They, like, whatever. And I don't know, I see that play out in real life, but I don't see it as effective or helpful.
Right,
in
but
real
it's something
life.
that's plagued humanity since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
Shaming and blaming and dehumanizing other through judgment and pointing your finger.
Yes, and do not look to the Joker to, like, lead you out of that, right? So the character of the Joker...
Don't do that.
Well, I'm just saying, like, you're not going to leave this movie being like, oh, that was a really excellent take on, like, things going on.
Well,
in
yeah,
our current
it's not
society.
designed to be that. It's
Yeah.
based on a comic book, y'all.
Right. It was a dark movie. It was really, really good, but it was a dark movie. And then to, like, further, like, you zero in on just the character of Arthur, who's the Joker, Arthur Fleck, and, yeah, like, you see him deal with mental illness, poverty, feeling like he's unseen, says that he, you know, tells his social worker, like, I feel like most of my life I've not been sure I've ever existed.
He's delusional.
On and off, like, medication. He takes, like, a lot of L's throughout.
He does.
From getting jumped to some, like, accidents. Somebody, out of fear, he's given, like, a gun, has it on him, and then it falls out of his pocket while he's at a children's hospital, like, doing his clown work. Was it dumb to have it there? Yes, but, like, it was also, like, it's dumb luck, too. He loses his job, finds out, like, some stuff that may or may not be true about, like, his mom, and, you know, that kind of stuff. And I don't, in my own head, I'm like, well, how much can a person take, you know? Like, without getting real help. And, like, sometimes, like, the story painted in this movie was somebody who was, like, in the system, like, funding got cut, not that the, like, resources provided were that great anyway. And it's just hard when people don't get, like, there just doesn't seem like there's any help around, you know?
Yeah. It was a moving and stirring and gripping movie, but, like, I didn't come out of there, like, I mean, the things that, I guess what I'm saying is everything I've seen in this movie, I see on the news every day, so it's not any different just because it was in a movie. I see the same things. Like, this stuff is just how life is for a lot of people, but it was yesterday and will be tomorrow, I guess.
Yeah, but, like, I guess I feel, like, a tremendous amount of compassion. Felt compassion for Arthur, like, in the movie. Now, the thing is sometimes you come to a crossroads. What is that? I mean, I can't even, because of the mental illness, I don't even know what to say. Because had he had full control of his mental faculties, then I could say, well, what choice do you make? But, like, I don't know. Like, he stops taking his medication in the movie. Like, I don't know how much responsibility does the Joker have for, like, what he does in this movie. Like, I don't know. He has this great line in the journal, partway through the movie, in his journal, where he's writing jokes for a stand-up act, but then it kind of, like, goes into other things. And he says, the worst part about mental illness is that people expect you to act like you don't have a mental illness.
Yeah.
And I was like, that is a fantastic line, because how many people, like I know so many people who struggle with anxiety and depression, and then when they go out into the world, people are like, just get over it. What do you mean you can't go to work today? What do you know?
That's what makes this movie so good, is it takes these real life concepts and ideas and puts them inside this art. Yeah. And behind, and in that, it's within this storyline of this character, the Joker, who is just fascinating,
iconic, character.
And the performance of Joaquin Phoenix was amazing. Like, going into this movie, I didn't know, like, well, could he really compete with Heath Ledger as a Joker, who won, I think, the Academy Award for that? And yeah, I think he did compete with Heath Ledger. They're different Jokers, they're different takes on it, just like Heath Ledger was different from Jack Nicholson, etc. But I think it was really, really strong, and he turned in an amazing performance. He had to lose something like 600 pounds to play this role. He did lose, he had to lose a bunch of weight. You know what I mean? And he looked super crazy skinny, and he talked about how hard that was, but how important it was for him to portray that. And that's also an amazing thing when an actor goes to such lengths to really nail the performance. And I thought he nailed the performance. And I was a little afraid that in this movie we wouldn't really see the Joker being the Joker. Like, he wouldn't ever turn into the Joker. It would be all about before.
Be all the origin.
But by the end of the movie, yeah, that was pretty awesome. It was the Joker. And it was really close to the Joker in the comic book, at least a little bit. And I thought that was really awesome.
Yeah, and I thought it was interesting because I kept wondering, well, because the movie was so real in, it seemed like New York City. It didn't seem like Gotham City. It just seemed like a city. And I was like, well, how is Arthur going to become the Joker? Where, he can't be, arrested. You know what I mean? The Joker is, this, ultimate, villain of Batman. But that totally plays out in the movie because of the riots and the way the city kind of devolved, that he was able to,
Also, that in this movie, in this universe, if this universe went on, which I don't think it's going to, but if it did, that Bruce Wayne was a boy then. He has to grow up, and the Joker would have continued in his criminal ways. You know what I mean? He would even grow as a crazy criminal.
Yeah. I will say that was the only thing to me in this movie is that Joaquin Phoenix looked older to me. So the Bruce Wayne does make an appearance in this movie as a boy. And their age difference was much larger, unless Arthur Fleck in this movie just looks older than what he actually is due to his hard life, mental illness, which might be the case. Okay. Maybe he's not, 40 years older than Bruce Wayne, because by the time he goes Batman, there's going to have to be a new Joker. So, the only other thing surprising to me was Thomas Wayne, which is the father of Bruce Wayne, father of Batman. He doesn't ever get to meet Batman. Thomas Wayne, they made him out to be a complete jerk. So I had never seen that in any of the depictions of the Batman storyline. I've seen Thomas Wayne as a saint. I've seen Thomas Wayne questioned. Maybe Wayne Enterprises got really big and he lost kind of sight, or he lost control of who was working for him and who he had made deals for. But this was an outright dude, you're an awful person.
Well, and the closest thing would be if you watched the Flashpoint cartoon movie thing. Remember when he was in that movie, in the Flashpoint, he went to the alternate universe and Thomas Wayne was Batman. But remember, he was crazy and would kill people and stuff.
It was a really good movie, really well done. No scenes during the credits, so also different from a comic book movie in that way. And yeah, that's all we got.
That's all we got. We really appreciate you coming here and hanging out with us. Thanks for liking, commenting, subscribing. And come back for more. We do these pretty regularly, so you can come back irregularly.
Okay.
It's not a big commitment, what I'm saying. It's a tiny commitment. It's the lowest level of commitment that you have here. It's I'm going to subscribe to this, and then maybe once a week I'll get a video. It's pretty low, We're not asking for much from you. Just watch a video from us once a week.
This is all getting cut.
Do it!